Lovable Lyle by Bernard Weber. Lovable Lyle. Everyone loved Lyle the Crocodile. The prime family with whom he lived dearly, of course. And the bakery lady loved him. She was always gave Lovely a cookie. This very kind with colorful sprinkles on top. Mr. Delight, ice cream man, he loved and always invited Lyle to climb aboard his truck and clang the bell. And Bird loved him. Loved Lyle, Quackbird. And the children loved him, but always called for Lyle to come out and play. And in return, he loved called, wild, wonderful world. He didn't know a single enemy in it, so he thought. One day, a mysterious note addressed Lyle with a sympathy under 384 Street. Dear Lyle, I hate you. I hate you more than anything. I hate you so much I can't stand it. And the note was signed your enemy. Everyone was so surprised, so dreadful. Whatever reason could anyone have hating Lyle? Don't know about it, Lyle, Mr. Plum. Just keep being yourself wonderful and don't forget what happened. Lyle went off to bed that night, trying to not forget. Still, he switched off the lights and gazed upon the empty street below, and he could not sadly thinking, somebody out there hates me. Next day, Lyle lost himself in play and managed to forget all about the note. And he reminded a second one, delivered as mysterious as first. Dear Lyle, I hate you even more today than I did yesterday, and it was all possible. Again, the note was signed your enemy. Oh, these horrible notes just got stopped. Miss Pond cried out desperately. Lyle wanted the note to stop too. He was so happy about him. There were days he just couldn't get coaxed out of the house. He began to wonder if they were growing ugly. He practiced smiling. And other times, the outdoors of being his friendliest to everyone, hoping somewhere, somehow, enemy. He smiled big eyes. He waved big eye waves, treated all for me as just he knew how. He performed the surefire tricks that amused people and practiced new ones at home each night. It was kind, helpful, courteous, let down his able type of packages. He offered his seat in crowded buses. He shared his umbrella. Mine doesn't have a nice manners, he remarked. He never seen anything like it, answered another. Poor Lyle worked so hard being nice, he was positively exhausted at the end of the day. And dead, the Primes were unhappy about the nose. Each time they heard someone approaching outside Joshua and Prime, sometimes the entire family would rush out the door in hopes of catching it and not wire the act. They even took turns watching out from the window. One afternoon, Miss Prime jostled Lyle said the doctors down with crocodiles. Twinsies crawled the fence near home. Miss Prime tried hopefully to ease the nasty words of the issue. Well, Lyle says, as they made their way home, it seems like no matter how much time we think we got to go, isn't it possible to please everybody or be like to everyone? They approached her house and noticed a small figure covered Sue, Couple, and Josh's class. By the time they reached the door, Clover was gone and resting under the door until another note. I just don't want to know and bring myself to read it. But this time for herself the same. Dear Ty, I wish you would go away, never come back, never again. Once more, your enemy, sadly, Miss Prime crumpled a note. Oddly, during the next few days, Miss Prime had life himself running into Clever Sue Hippo almost everywhere he went. At the supermarket, they discovered her peeking out behind a huge display of cornflakes. Another time, they caught a glimpse of her behind a tree. And again, the one afternoon, they discovered her crouched behind a mailbox. Each time, Miss Prime smiled and tried to say hello. Each time, skittered before chance. One day, as she thought about to leave the house, Miss Prime glanced down and see another note wriggling its way into the house. Quickly, she opened the door. Before her, wide-eyed surprise, still clutching the note, stood Clever Sue Hipple. Clever dear, please don't run away. I would like to speak with you about Lyle. Has anyone done something that would make you with him? He takes my friends away from me. He what? He takes my friends away from me. When Lyle comes out, my friends run away. They turn and play with him, and they play with him at all the time. I never have fun with Lyle while he's around. But why can't you play with Lyle too? Because of what? Because I am not allowed. My mother won't allow to play with crocodiles. Why don't you invite Clever's mother here to meet Lyle? I'm sure she sees herself how gentle Lyle is and he won't be able to cover with him. Miss Prime telephoned. Very next day, Lyle said, "It was not so much to meet you. Could you join us for tea tomorrow?" "I have be delighted to answer, Miss Hipple." Made a note address and all the careful arrangement. Now, who is Clover's mother, sitting up their new house and had left her little time for meeting neighbors? And who is Lyle? The only Lyle he knew was the wretched Lyle the Crocodile creature, who lived with the most particular family somewhere nearby. Imagine, she chuckled disappointedly, a crocodile living among decent, respectable people. But this Lyle, he must be nice Miss Prime's husband, of course. All right, remember now, Miss Prime, the afternoon Miss Paula's Hippo rise and greeted her with the very best manners and offered to take her coat. "Once you have hung it neatly in the closet, join us in the living room," understood. Good Miss Prime humming as she returned. When Miss Hippo arrived, Klaus started down the stairs to meet her, but then he stopped. "Suppose he won't like me," he thought, popped to his head. Suddenly, with waves of shyness came over Lyle. Suddenly, the last thing he would want to make me meet Miss Hippo. "Lyle, where are you? You have company." Miss Prime called again as she let her guests into the room. She wanted to go, and besides, although she kept telling him absolutely the silliest, most ridiculous thing you could possibly do, Squall squeezed himself in the hall closet and hid. Miss Prime looked for him upstairs. She looked downstairs. She can't imagine what had become of Lyle. Behind her exclaimed. Amid thinking teacups, I could hear the voice of the two women. They talked about, and everything was just uncomfortable in the closet. He began wishing he could talk about Miss Hipple leaving. At long last, Lyle heard Miss Hipple say, "I must be going now." Miss Prime said, "I'm glad you came, so worried you Miss Lyle, but I don't know what meeting him real soon." Then Lyle heard the handle of the door. "Let me have the cloak." Instead, the door opened, fell open. Both women primed out a sharp gas, and Miss Hipple definitely screamed. "Are you right?" Miss Prime cried out, struggling in the heat. "Take him away. Take that monster away from me." Began to shriek. "Oh, please, you hurt me." "I promise I won't hurt you." Miss Prime reassured. "Look at him." "Let me out of here," Miss Hipple shrieked on. "Let me out of this terrible house." Miss Prime opened the door. Miss Hipple and her clothes all rumpled, stumbled out of the closet. "If that crocodile so much crosses my path, I'll have him arrested. This is supposed to be my nice neighbor, you know." Poor Lyle. But now he's afraid of going to be arrested. Now he's going to have to think of something else in his mind to keep off his troubles. On the first warm day, Miss Prime knew that what would do for Lyle would take him to the beach. They decided swimming has always been Lyle's favorite sport, and I was probably the best swimmer in the family. Her husband added. While Mr. and Miss Prime made themselves comfortable, Josh started the same castle. Lyle looked running dive into the water. Lyle's water stunned his life for everyone close by. Everyone except for Miss Hipple, who was just arrived and covered was drunken at her feet. Miss Hipple set out, runs for the lifeguard and a lifeguard. "Lifeguard, do you permit crocodiles to bathe here?" "Certainly not," answered the lifeguard. "Well, it might be interesting to know that the crocodile's bathing here this very minute." Miss Hipple pointed out to the spot where she had the crocodile. Suddenly, everyone on the beach was looking and pointing not at the crocodile, but pointing at the little girl, thrashing helplessly in the water. Cover. She's drowning." Lifeguards immediately pushed her to the rescue, barely raised the scene here. Miss called out there, someone grasped. "No, it's Lyle." Standing nearby, it's Lyle the Crocodile. Lyle body very wet, but happy Clover. "Hooray for Lyle!" Coach shouted. "Oh, Lyle, dear friend, Miss Helper, how can I ever thank you enough?" Everyone was so proud of Lyle, she immediately appointed her honorary lifeguard. "He also given that hat, sweatshirt, and now you are a hero," said the lifeguard. "Feel free to come here and save people from drowning anytime you choose." The next day, a note addressed to Lyle was found under the door of Miss Harden. "No, not again, Miss Prime. Dear Lord, I love you. I love you more than anything. I love you so much. I can't stand it." And the note was signed. "Your friend for life, Cover Sue Hippie. May I play with you today? My mother said it's all right." I smiled one big smile. Big smiles.